Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey and that is the all-new 2025 Ram 1500 Rebel. I am in Wisconsin at the Mama Rally and I'm gonna go get that thing dirty. Stay tuned. All right, gearheads, the big news for 2025, more of a mid-cycle refresh than anything, but the deletion, the extermination, nay, the extinction of the HEMI engine. This no longer has a V8 HEMI under the hood. Hey, has that thing got a HEMI? No, it's got the standard output 3-liter inline 6 Hurricane engine. So 420 horsepower, 469 pound-feet of torque. That's the big news with this one, but this being the Rebel model, it is the most off-road capable until the RHO makes its appearance at dealer lots. So this is really the Rebel line that has appealed to me. And unfortunately, I don't have a long time with this one, so I can't take you on a lot of a tour outside here, but you can see tow hooks, revised front bumper with different approach angle. We've got these big, meaty Goodyear Wrangler tires that have already got a good amount of dirt in them. We're going to add to that. We've got an adjustable suspension on this one, all kinds of off-road goodies that we are absolutely going to put to the test. I am in Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at the Midwest Automotive Media Professionals, or Media Association, or MAMA's Spring Rally. Let's hop in and take this thing for a drive. All right, gearheads, setting off in the Ram 1500 Rebel 2025 Hurricane inline 6 under the hood. No more HEMI V8. Are we sad about that? Is that a deal breaker for you? Sound off down in the comments. We'll see how this thing performs out on the sloppy, nasty trails today. I am in 4 low, so we're going to see exactly what this thing's capable of. I do have a rear axle lock, so I can lock up that rear axle, and I've got downhill descent control up here that are also to my advantage. I do also have some shortcuts up here. I'm going to go ahead and drag my camera up to replace Alexa because I don't need her. And then I've got quick access to my camera functionality here. I've got bird's eye 360, I've got a front view, super crisp, super clear, allowing me to see that bright orange Hummer that I drove earlier today just fine. I can also see all the way around me, forward camera, rear view camera. I also have 2 auxiliary camera inputs and some trailer guidance if I was trailering, but gonna put it on a forward facing camera. We're gonna see just how long this camera stays on for us as we navigate these trails. I like how these new trailer mirrors have dual sections and they're all power controllable here from the door. Lots of buttons to get used to down here. We also have lights, puddle lamps illuminating the ground below, but lots of lights in this one. Otherwise, in here, it is very similar to the outgoing model. We do have the new screen over here for the front passenger. I think that's really more of a gimmick. I really would prefer a glove box there than a screen, but I can see there's a power button right here. I actually can't see the screen. It's designed so that I cannot. I've got a couple of wireless chargers up here, RAM chargers, if you will, that I can wirelessly charge my phone while we are going out on the trail. And it'll be very interesting to see how this big beast does out there.
All right.
So I did talk about the adjustable ride height suspension in this. So we're normal, but I'm going to go ahead and bump it up. See if we can't go a little bit higher here. My brakes? My goodness. All right, this point has always been a multi-point turn, and that is of no exception here in this big Rebel. Especially in 4 low. I want to make sure we don't meet any trees or the like here in this one. So forward facing camera on. I've got all my course signs in front of me. I will say I've done this in many different vehicles. This is the most normal but largest vehicle I've taken down here, the other large vehicle I took is the one that is right in front of me. Not currently, but most closely in front of me. That is that big orange Hummer EV with its four-wheel steering that made it way more nimble out here than it had any right to be at 87 inches wide. This is more like what I'm used to though, big full-size pickup trucks. So be very interesting to see how this handles these narrow courses, just like when I head out to my favorite off-road testing grounds of Barnwell Mountain. These trailering mirrors really making me watch them as we approach these trees. This is really the problem I have with full-size trucks nowadays, especially in some of my favorite trails out there at Barnwell Mountain. They're just too narrow for these big vehicles lately, and it makes it difficult to off-road a big vehicle. You really need wide open spaces, which I know Texas is known for wide open spaces, but in East Texas, we have a lot of trails like what I'm experiencing today, where you're in between trees and clearance is a major concern. So that is something that is on my mind. Another thing that's on my mind, just how muddy it is. It is getting warmer out here. It's drying up, but we had one major storm last night, tornadoes in the area, and it really made this a muck of a mess out here. And when I was in other vehicles earlier today, they were just sliding around almost uncontrollably. You really had to pay attention to all the corners of your vehicle to know exactly where you were going, where you had it pointed, and where the vehicle was going to decide to go in that particular situation. But so far, so good navigating these trails in this Ram Rebel. Some of these trees are getting very close, but again, I do like the trailer mirrors. They've got the lower section that is power adjustable as well. So lots of visibility all the way around me in this. I don't have a visibility problem. I just have an overall size problem. This is a big truck, y'all. It is a real big truck. And I can say while we're going through that so far this powertrain is good. Everything's going to be slow motion, slow moving today. So we're really not straining this powertrain, but really talking about the availability of that 469 pound-feet of torque and how readily it is there, the tuning with the transmission, what that's like with 4-low, yada, yada, yada. But in these conditions, I can say that this powertrain is solid and performing quite well, even if, we are 2 cylinders shy of what we should be. I really miss the HEMI V8, miss the sound of it. This is definitely a different wheeling experience in something with a ram's head staring back at me without a loud HEMI V8 underneath the hood. Watch my mirrors as we come up. Whew. My goodness. This is a beast. And another thing about this mud is you almost can't even tell where your wheels are pointed at some portions of this course. I really like the top dead center. I really like the top dead center marker on the Ranger Raptor that we had out here. But we're gonna. Huge thanks to Jeep for
nice and easy. A little bit of throttle, tiny bit. There you go. Straighten them out.
All right, thank you very much.
Just that last rock on the driver's side there. You should be good to go.
Yes, huge thanks to Jeep for supplying us with course workers, eyeballs outside the vehicle on the real technical stuff, like what I just went through. Again, talking about the overall size and heft of this vehicle. It's big and takes up quite a bit of this trail. And again, just goes back to why I like midsize pickup trucks so much, why I think the market likes midsize pickup trucks so much right now. They are just easier to maneuver if you actually plan on doing any sort of off-roading in them. I am having to pay lots of attention on my big backside back there with my trailering mirrors just to ensure that my rear does not slide sideways into a tree. My goodness. And then the trailer mirrors are both a pro and a con. Visibility is good, but they're also making this vehicle quite a bit wider, so I have to worry about them up front and my booty back in the back. It's a little bit of a workout out here in this big truck versus some of the smaller vehicles that I had, and the big vehicle that I had with four-wheel steering. My goodness, got a little rutted out and rocky right there. We've got some rocks coming up here as well. So, you know, people like to rely a lot on these front-facing cameras for the terrain that they're going over. I think they flatten everything out. They really don't do a great job of letting you know what terrain you're about to go over, but they let you know if there is an obstacle in your way. We're about to go up over a couple of hills where it's going to be my only visibility because I'm going to be looking at the sky, and this will actually allow me to see over the nose of the vehicle as we go through them. Again, you're going to see just how wet and sloppy this course has become today through this section right here. And then we've got some articulation. So very excited to see what this thing can flex like. We are in off-road ride height, so slightly higher than normal. I do have horizon lock on my cameras, but it is doing a great job smoothing it out for me, the passenger here inside. So I like that a lot. I'm gonna go ahead and roll my window up here because we are about to go through some nasty mud and we're gonna do a big splashdown here momentarily. So I wanna make sure and not let any of that stuff in with me. Sloppy, sloppy, sloppy course today. But the sun is coming out. So here we go. Let's give it some power. Let's go up and over. Make sure to not run over my course worker. And down into the splash. Yes. One thing about this, I don't think this vehicle was nearly dirty enough. So definitely gonna get it a little muddy. No. We aren't clear for this next obstacle. I do believe it is due to the width of this vehicle. I had the same issue with Hummer earlier. So again, talking about these wide vehicles, there's only so much that they can do because of how big they are. And I really wish Ram would get back into the midsize game. I think they would be competitive not only on the sales front, but on the capability front. It is definitely a segment that is heating up for sure. And I would really like to see what Ram could do, whether it's Dakota, 1200, I don't know what they would call it, but I would love to see a midsize pickup from Ram. So we are gonna actually attempt the rock garden here. Again, I am in off-road ride height. I am in 4 low. And they're doing some work on this rock garden, literally as I drove up. And we're going to see exactly what this HEMI, not this HEMI replacement, can do in such a tough situation. I've lost my front cameras, but I do have my spotter watching in front of me. Again, the size of this vehicle is really what's got me concerned about all the obstacles before me. I've got the ground clearance with the adjustable height suspension, so that doesn't bother me. It really is just making sure I'm on the straight and narrow, but huge thanks to Jeep for providing those spotters, course workers for me. Now, here we go. Going sideways. Let's go. Straightways. Up and over. Up and over. Up and over this hill. Again, front-facing cameras really help out in those situations. All right, that is some of the hairiest stuff that we will experience, but we've got a little bit more sloppy stuff up here. You can see the Ram Stellantis lawyers have stepped in. Those cameras turn off at higher speeds because they don't want you watching the cameras. They want you watching the situation in front of you, especially if you're on road. But as we get going a little bit slower here, we're going to go back to our front-facing camera because this stuff is sloppy stuff. And pretty much I'm just following in the ruts before me, but they are some pretty deep ruts, and it is just slick, slimy stuff out here, y'all. You just gotta kind of power through and keep your forward momentum. You saw just how much those Goodyear Wrangler tires were caked up when I took you on a tour outside of this truck, and it's for areas just like this. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of speed after stuff like that. You see it's all flying out beside me, but there isn't a lot of speed situations afterwards where you can really fling that stuff back out at any regularity. So they kind of get caked over and then you just kind of have to deal with them. I'm really worried about this spot right here. It's been hairy in almost every single vehicle that I've been in. It's a sharp curve with some slick mud. I do believe it's going to be a multi-point turn. It has to be, because this thing is just too big to do anything but. The problem is when I get up here, I am going to slide to my passenger side right by a tree, but I think, yeah, we're good. We're good. Front tires kind of pulled me out, saved me on that one. And go back to my cameras. I don't like the digital buttons when I have to keep going back for it. I wish there were a physical button. I do applaud the fact that there's even a button in the first place. As we come around here to one last major obstacle. It's like a tree rut that I think we have to climb over, and then kind of a sharp, slimy turn, and then not hit our Jeep course worker. And we are through. Gotta love that front-facing camera. Again, really having to watch out for my booty back there, that nothing happens to it, and nothing happens to my mirrors that do like to stick out quite a ways. These are tow mirrors, so I could extend them even further if I've had to. But that's not the issue here. It's the opposite of the issue. As we are out here, lots of narrow passageways in this big truck. Otherwise, yes, the big news with the 2025 Ram 1500 is the extinction of the HEMI. And I can tell you, power delivery for the entire time out here has been very good. I did get a little stuck on the Rock Garden, but like I said, they've been reworking that right as I got up to it. So it changes with everybody that drives over it. Other than that, I've been really impressed with this. I do like the air suspension better in this than the Grand Cherokee 4xe Trailhawk that we took out to Barnwell Mountain. I think it just works a little bit better in this. But what do you say? Do I need to take one of these to Barnwell and see what it's really like out there? I think I do. So let me know down in the comments your thoughts on this new mid-cycle refresh Ram 1500 for the 2025 model year. But there we go. We are at the very end. I'm going to go ahead and put us in 4 high, put us in neutral to get back into 4 high, get back into 4 high, and back into drive so that we can finish this out with a little bit of speed. That is it for me here with this one. If you want to see more from the Mama Spring Rally, hit that subscribe button down below and ring the bell so you are notified every time a new video drops. Find us on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it, all at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com. As for me, here in the 2025 Ram 1500 with the Hurricane, not the HEMI. Until next time, gearheads. Bye. Oh, just a little bit narrow. But, it's a good one. I applaud him. Good vehicle. You done good.